Hello and good morning, and welcome to Tuesday, just after 6 a.m. here at the Leapfrog home office, where all things Leapfrog happen. How nice, right? And today we're here with a run topic. Um, what I wanted to talk about today was bad runs. Tough, hard, bad runs. And I guess the reality is that there's a difference between a tough run, a hard run, and a bad run. All right, so we'll go through all of those real quick. So, like, what's a tough run? A tough run can be a really good run that you just put a lot of effort into. Like, if you're doing marathon training, a tough run could be an 18-mile run. That's tough. A tough run could be in the summertime if it's, 100-degree heat index. That's a tough run. Tough run could be uphill. If you're up north or in the mountains, that could be a tough run. But tough runs aren't necessarily bad runs. Tough runs actually build a lot of character. You're pushing it, it's difficult, you know it's going to be difficult, but you get through it. Tough runs serve a purpose. There's a gentleman I used to run with, many years ago in the early 90s named Andy Rosette. He used to talk about hills. He loved hills because he said hills are character builders. Anybody can run the flat and be happy, but once you got to go uphill, your character shows. Do you slow down or do you still run strong? So that's one thing with a tough run. What's a hard run? A hard run could be a run that you don't necessarily feel good on. So it's hard because you're running like with faster people. So it's hard because you're trying to keep up. It's a hard run because your nutrition was off, you didn't sleep. It's difficult for kind of like outside reasons. And then we have the bad run that is just crap, for lack of a better word. Nothing about the run is good. And the worst is a lot of times like bad runs will happen like in ideal conditions, right? It'll be like the weather's perfect, there's kind of an expectation in your mind that hey, everything's feeling good. And then you get out there and try to get going and like there's just nothing there. Like mentally there's nothing there, you can't get the head in the zone. Physically your body's just heavy, there's nothing there in the feet, like you just sound funny, you have cramps, different things are tight. So bad runs, the reason that I wanted to talk about bad runs today is because it's when you're having a really, really bad run that you can come down and change the focus a little bit. So like, what's the one thing you can do right on this run? So let's just say the run sucks. So of course you're going to get a little angry, right? Sucks. But the question is once you're angry, can you either breathe your way out of it or think your way out of it just enough to figure out like, let me pull one thing out of this run. Let me pull one positive out of this run. Now, whether that positive is I did the run, I didn't quit. That could be a positive, right? It is a positive. One of the positives could be like, listen, the run stinks, but I'm going to work really hard on my breathing. And I want to inhale belly out, exhale belly to spine, try to find that zone, which can be really frustrating when things aren't going well. You could say, you know what, God, this run stinks. It's a bad run. I'm going to run like in the grass as opposed to running on the smooth street or on the sidewalk. It already sucks. So I'm going to run on an uneven surface and I'm just going to run in the grass and just make it suck as much as possible. I'm going to embrace the suck, which is really fun to think about sometimes as far as embracing the suck. You can think about like, man, my legs are super heavy, but I'm going to do some stride work. So you can work on taking and finding one good thing you can pull out of that bad run. So that when you go home and you finish, instead of being negative, you're gonna be like, God, that run, it stunk, but I was able to do this. I was able to pull the most out of it as I could. So taking a bad run, it's almost like rolling a lemon before you juice it. So if you take a lemon, you're trying to squeeze the juice out. If you roll it along the counter, it loosens up that juice a little bit, then you squeeze, you get more juice, right? So if you have a bad or a sour run, what can you do to get the most out of that sour run? And that's just one of the things that I wanted to talk about because it's inevitable that everyone goes through a bad run. Everybody has tough runs. Everybody has hard runs, and everybody has bad runs. It's what we pull out of those. That's what matters. So keep moving forward, folks. Modify if needed. Like, once again, don't make it a random modification. Do go through the warm-up, and if you need at that point to make a modification, you make a modification. Always, though, when you modify, is understand the point of what you're modifying for. In other words, if you are like in a middle school or a high school or a college athlete, are you modifying today because the goal really is the last meet of the year, a month, 6 weeks, 8 weeks from now? If you're in marathon training, are you modifying today because you got an upcoming marathon? When do you or should you modify? Or are there times where it's like, listen, this run is designed to be really, really tough because it's going to get me to the marathon. Or this workout is designed to be really, really tough because it's going to get me to my new personal best. So when you go to modify, you want to take into the considerations like, what was the point of the run? Are you modifying for a mental reason, an emotional reason, a nutritional reason, or an injury, a pain reason? So you consider all those things. So you don't always avoid the tough runs. Don't always avoid the hard runs. And when you're having a bad run, work really hard to pull the best thing that you can out of it. So that's it for today. Ran a little long here at 6:30. So let me know how it goes. It was great. I saw a comment on Facebook, somebody writing out the video yesterday. So thank you much for that. Like, comment, and share, please. It's always appreciated. Have a great Tuesday. Bye, everyone.